This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code GOLFSGPN. The Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32 NFL team previews. They're also bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 circa future. And speaking of Circa, have you ever been? Circa is in the middle of doing their Survivor, the $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true DJ if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. So come hang out with the SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st to 23rd for an amazing weekend. Includes live shows, open bars, plus you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with code SGP15. The contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we are live, my friends. We are live back with the what golf tournament is this? The Fedex St. Jude week 1 of the year. And it was a great week last week. I know some of you guys saw we had Cam Young outright. We had a great DFS week, and we cannot complain. We finish season with a bang, start the playoffs with a bang, and I'm ready to keep it rolling. So let me just tweet this link out to the great Twitter sphere and let the people know that we're live. I know it's midday Monday. It's 4 o'clock. Not everyone's going to be tuning in right now, but they'll watch it back later. But I'm going to say, but we're live. I'm going to sing it, but we're live. All right, here we go. Let's start. Scotty Scheffler, $13,000 flat, followed by Xander, JT, Russ at all 10K and above. Now, what are you going to say about Scotty Scheffler? He's obviously coming off of that open win. He's another great season, and he's coming off of his a 10-stroke on approach week at Royal Portrush. When you look at his course history here, he's not finished better than 4th, 1 miscut, 2 other mixed result in there, but he gained across the board last week. Scotty's going to play well. I'm not trying to get cute and try to fade Scotty is what I'm getting at. But if you are trying to get cute and trying to fade Scotty, who are you going to go with? Xander, JT, or Russ? I do think the answer this week is Xander Schauffele. And it hasn't been Xander Schauffele, in my opinion, for not just recently, but a fair majority of weeks this season. I think Xander is the play at the top of this 10K range outside of Scotty Scheffler. So I'm just talking in the without Scotty market. If you want to go somewhere else, I think Xander is the play. He has gained off the tee and approach in back-to-back starts for the first time since, ready for this? The first time since the Olympics and the Fedex St. Jude last year. It's been a full calendar year, which was also the week after his win. 3 straight last year. A full calendar year since Xander has gained in both ball striking categories in back-to-back weeks. You couple that with a runner-up here last year, plenty of starts here. He's very comfortable around this golf course. He loves it here. So I think Xander is the answer. I'm willing to pay $1,000 more, $900 more for JT. Russ, course history, Bermuda makes sense. I just think the golf course is a little bit long for him. I do think this is the best buy spot we are seeing for Xander all year long. So I could start my betting card with Xander. I could start with, this is a DFS show. I don't know if I'm going to be getting to him. I will probably start a few lineups. I'll probably go 50% Scotty, 50% Xander. But I think Xander is the option if you're going to go with someone not named Scotty Scheffler at the top of this DFS board. So let's move into this 9K range. Obviously, smaller field this week, only 70 guys, so we're not going to be a shorter show, I guess. Tommy Fleetwood down to Patrick Cantlay, Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland. I really do love the bottom of this 9K range, Patrick Cantlay and Colin Morikawa, which is kind of a whoa. What are you saying there, Matt? How do you like Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay? All the narrative, all the Ryder Cup buzz narrative. I think this is a week where this is a prove it week. Get into gear, play some good golf, and they're not on the Ryder Cup team yet. Colin and Pat are not on the Ryder Cup team. A win would change that. Obviously, a win would change that from one of the two. So I think if you're playing these two guys at 9K, 9-1, obviously we know what their ceiling is. It's winning ceiling, and they've got fair enough, good enough course history. Let's take a look at Patrick's course history. I think Xander Collins, a great start. Patrick, T12 last year, runner-up the year before that, T8 in 18, T12 in 19, T10 in 17. Patrick Cantlay, very, very comfortable around here. I probably do like him a little bit better than Colin Morikawa. I'm not too fond of Colin Morikawa's ball striking at the moment, but he gets back to the States. It wasn't a great trip across the pond for Colin. I think it's a good bounce back spot. He's got a T5 here in his career, T13 and 23. So these two guys are going to take up a majority of my 9K buzz. I'm fading Victor Hovland. Makes a ton of sense. Great course history, obviously. Think he's going to be a little chalky. I can actually see Ludwig being a little bit under-owned too. I can sprinkle some Ludwig. At the top, Tommy Fleetwood and Matt Fitzpatrick. I just think they're a little bit overpriced for what I'm looking at. I want to buy the ceiling and the question marks of Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay towards the bottom of this 9K range. So they're definitely my guys here in the 9K range. So we like obviously Scotty and then Xander towards the top, Colin and Patrick towards the bottom. 8K range, we got Sam Burns down to Chris Gotterup. Chris Gotterup and Ben Griffin, 8,000 and 8,100. Also Cam Young. If you're going in that, I think if you in every one of your lineups find a way to get the Cam, Ben Griffin, and Chris Gotterup, it's called riding the hot hand. They're playing great golf, and they're not quite all the way priced up yet. I think if you keep riding that hot hand, they're not going to be overly owned as well. I'm definitely down. Like, there's no reason, in my opinion, where Harris English with great course history or Aaron Rye or Corey Connors coming off an injury is worth being priced higher than them. Towards the top of this 8K range, I would probably go with Sam Burns. I like what he's doing with the driver. He's comfortable. He's aggressive off the tee right now. And when Sam Burns is clicking, that is his best mode. When Sam Burns is aggressive, he's long off the tee, and that's when he's clicking. He's got good course history here. Obviously, we know what he can do on Bermuda. So towards the top, I definitely like Sam Burns. And at the bottom of this 8K range, I am sprinkling Cam Young, Ben Griffin, and Harry Hall. 7K range. Before we get to the 7K range, really quickly, I want to talk to you about Rhythm. Rhythm continues to crush it with their power trends, essentially the best of what their house model has to offer. AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won at a high ROI. Power trends are updated daily and are exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. So download the Rhythm app, check out power trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Okay, 7K range. We start off with Harry Hall, 7'9", all the way down to Akshay Bhatia, Ricky Fowler, Lucas Glover at 7K. Well, we'll start at the top because there's definitely a few names up here that I definitely like more than others. Daniel Berger, I think he might be good chalk this week. I could see Daniel Berger garnering some great ownership, but infamously won this event back-to-back years, a few years back. And when you look at Daniel Berger's profile, he's doing nothing but absolutely stripe. He is me on the greens right now, but he's back to his preferred surfaces, Bermuda. And this is a golf course where you can get away with being a striper who's bad at putting, i.e. Justin Thomas a few years back. So Daniel Berger, when he's chalky at his spots, he kind of pays off. Think Hilton Head, PGA National, even here, he'll get chalky every once in a while. So I like buying some of this Berger chalk, and I think it can pay off for you at $7,800. Towards the middle of the 7K range, I think it's a decent spot for Wyndham Clark. I know he needs it. His back's against the wall with the Ryder Cup, as well as Jordan Spieth. But I would go to Maverick McNeely. I like Maverick McNeely's ceiling better than Jordan Spieth and Wyndham Clark right now. I think he's younger. He hasn't quite bursted out on the scene yet, and he's going to. Maverick McNeely is going to have a massive week at some point in his career, take down a massive field. And he's missed the cut at the 3M Open, which I'm not concerned about. I talked about Davis Thompson missing the cut at the 3M Open last week as a non-concern, and he almost finished runner-up last week. Maverick McNeely, he's played here 4 times, no better finish than T12, but he's kind of figured out the irons this year. I love what he's doing off the tee, so I'm definitely down for him at $7,500. And also an underpriced golfer, Shane Lowry. This is not necessarily a perfect Shane Lowry course. He's definitely decent on Bermuda, a little bit long in terms of what you're looking for from Shane Lowry. But for price to ceiling, I'm down. He's got a T11 here in his career. There's no reason he can't top 10 here. And sometimes there's a week where Shane Lowry talk gets so out of hand. So I definitely like him towards the 7K range. And then towards the bottom, we go with Taylor Pendrith. Taylor Pendrith has kind of been going under the radar. We know he's got a decently high ceiling. In his career here, Taylor Pendrith has a T22 and a 68, so nothing crazy. But coming into this week, he's gained strokes on approach in 3 straight starts. That's the first time he's done that since the Houston Open, which led to a top 5. So Taylor Pendrith is showing some signs of good golf. I like what he could do off the tee here. He would be my pick towards the bottom of this 7K range. Let's get into the 6K range before we get out of here. Max Grazerman leads us off all the way down to Brian Campbell, Tom Hoagie, Davis Riley, Cam Davis, Joe Buckets. I don't think we need to go down here because it should be getting cute. But if you have to, I don't mind some of these guys at 62. Steven Yeager, he finally showed some life last week at the Wyndham. At least he did early. I want to see where he finished last week at the Wyndham. He ended up missing the cut. That is so bad. But he had a decent showing. I don't know what I was seeing. Steven Yeager has not made a cut since TPC River Highlands, but this is a golf course where he's T20, T40, and T46. If he's so aggressive and he could just pay off at an instant. When Steven Yeager gets going, it's birdies, it's aggressiveness, and at $6,200, I'm willing to take that risk at 8% in a 70-man field, 9% at most. So I'm just willing to go at the furthest I can go down here is Steven Yeager, but I do like Jacob Bridgman at $6,300. He's a little bit tailing off of late, but what Jacob Bridgman did at the Memorial sticks in my head. He's a problem on Bermuda. He can gain 12 strokes for putting in any given week, so he'd be probably my favorite pick down here. I kind of like him better than Potgieter. I don't trust Potgieter on these surfaces, truthfully. Towards the middle of this 6K range, I would avoid the chalky Tony Finau because, yeah, his name is Tony Finau, but he's not a serious golfer at this point in his career. Andrew Novak, $6,600, a golfer who can gain strokes in every single category. And what happens if Andrew Novak wins this week? What's Keegan going to say there? He's kind of squandering strokes on approach, but he's from this area of the country. He likes Bermuda. He should feel comfortable on a golf course like this. So I like him around $6,500, $6,600, sorry. But my favorite play in this entire range is Ryan Gerard at $6,700. Ryan Gerard has done nothing but stripe the last 2 months of his life and squander strokes everywhere else, meaning squander strokes on the putting green. But Ryan Gerard is a Bermuda man. You get him on Bermuda, he can gain strokes putting. TPC Sawgrass, 4.5 strokes putting. Where else has he gained strokes putting? Sony Open, 2 strokes putting. That's Bermuda. Valero Texas Open, believe that's Bermuda, 7 strokes putting. So, Ryan Gerard, when you get him on his surfaces, he's going to hit it well. And these kind of surfaces, he can make some putts. So, I'm definitely down for Ryan Gerard as my favorite play in the 6K range. So I'm going to start a lineup with him. I'm going to go with Ryan Gerard, 67, and then build one. I'm going to start with Xander. So we have 8 left to build with. Who do we like around 8? And then we'll go from there. I mentioned one of Cam Young, Chris Gotterup, Ben Griffin. We'll go with Gotterup because he's the cheapest. We have 8. Honestly, what if we go with all 3 of these guys? Young, Griffin. Then we have 7. This is a balanced lineup. And then I want someone risky down here. I don't want the chalky burger. I want someone risky with win equity down here. I think it'd be the Shane Lowry. Not that he has the most win equity, but he's kind of going under the radar and could definitely top 10. So this would be my lineup for the week, starting with Xander Schauffele, getting that balanced build, fading the top, and then penciling in Ryan Gerard as my 6K guy. So that wraps it up. Betting show, I believe, will be later tonight with the official picks. So tune into that. Any questions, you know where to find us, and always appreciate the support. Peace out. Catch you later.